Good afternoon, class, and happy Halloween. Here is my skill set for manufacturing engineer presentation in regards to the skill set assignment in week three. My name is Herminio Ortiz, and go on. Things to go over in my manufacturing engineer skill set is what are the responsibilities? What are manufacturing engineer responsibilities? Their qualifications. That's two separate things, and in my mind, and in regards to engineers and management as well. Manufacturing engineer preferred skills. There's a third criteria that and I know supervisors look into, and if those don't go over with manufacturing with the same skill set, I want to go over other career fields that manufacturing engineers could qualify for with the same skill set and mindset and education. Manufacturing engineer responsibilities in production. So I come from an F-35 production mind, so this is a big. I'm relating it directly into that. But yeah, in production of the 35, they're responsible for planning changes and implementations of any kind. So if a mechanic has trouble doing something specific, he's able to go to the manufacturing engineer and request a change just to make sure it just people understand that it's better for the outcome, complete outcome of the production mindset from any point of the build. And with that, even without the mechanical input, the engineers themselves develop new processes, knowing if an area is easier to access. They develop and design tooling fixtures to maintain the small tolerances in aircrafts. I know something as simple as drilling a hole. There is a 0.03 tolerance of how big the hole could be from the actual designed hole size. They construct and plan the series of operations from start to finish for the mechanics. So if one task needs to be done, um, in regards to aviation, the engineer provides the work plan instructions from start to finish. What are the quality buy offs? Like if something has to be checked by quality, they're the ones that implement that to make sure the mechanic will stop and come get quality inspectors to come check their work for their actual buy off. And in their ongoing mindsets, as they're doing their main responsibilities, is improvements of the material, reduce weight, save money. That is all as long as nothing is jeopardized or compromised. That is always the engineer's mindset for a successful company. Manufacturing engineer qualifications. Companies first look at education, especially for having containing the engineer title. But aside from that, I think something that they rely more is experience. But going back to education, I know the degree we're taking right now is a STEM based, which is a science, technology, engineer, or math, which is what it takes to be qualified to be in the engineer realm. Bachelor's or master's are required to become a level 2 or 3 engineer, and of course, experience is it could be always used in lieu of education to a certain extent. Of course, you at least need a bachelor's. And companies rely on experience. Aside from education, schooling is preferred with experience, and the mindset has to be staged in the aviation industry. Um, I feel like it's similar but different from like a car manufacturing, just because there's the parts that are used. It's pretty cookie cutter, but it's not not as repetitive. There's repetitiveness, but because of how many parts are in an aircraft, it just takes so much different mindset knowing that you're not just building a car, you're building an airplane. They're both vehicles, but the reliability that airplane has to have is way more strict and has to follow procedures because the amount of customers, the amount of money, the consequences that could come from something going wrong are way more at stakes. And other qualifications, of course, are being able to read blueprints, write blueprints, and able to maintain a clean background, especially for the Department of Defense. There has to be always a clean background to know you're a responsible citizen of the United States of America. Manufacturing engineer, preferred skills. So yeah, there's education and experience, but they actually look at the resume. The resume is a history of anyone's career. You can check from education. What should be on there is education, your skills, any training that you have done aside from your job, other jobs that may help you. You're not gonna be putting I worked at a I don't know shining shoes if you're gonna be applying for an aviation job. Experience is more valuable to be to be able to understand mechanics' point of view. If as I have been mechanic for six plus years, it's more valuable than an engineer degree. So you get they you get to go into their shoes and experience what they did as a mechanic. So it does help you qualify for the skill set the company will require and prefer. And like any other one, teamwork is a big one. Not even just for this job specifically, but there are many jobs where teamwork is required just to collaborate, combine ideas to create one best decision. Team building ideas, it's not just team, but it's the relationship you have with the rest of the team as well. And the personality is something they look at. That's what they look at you at the qualifying person, just to make sure you're somebody easy to work with. It's hard to grasp in the interview, but it's that's what interviews are for. Just trying to get a summary of what that person is going to be like for the rest of their career in that company. And also preferred skills, of course, is office setting experience, computer literate, budgeting, know how to read forms, know how to just work on a process, work on a specification of a certain chemical, understand how chemicals work, and anything related to the office. Other career fields that a manufacturing engineer could qualify for. So even if you have the experience and everything, there are also like other options that could happen. There could be a production planner for aerospace, and those specifically don't work with mechanics. They just work with the processes on a retrospect of the main hub, not only a specific program. Production supervisor. So if you understand the all those mindsets, you would be qualified as a production supervisor, knowing the skills, knowing the team. That one does take a little more teamwork because you're actually leading a whole team to be able to produce, help something. Manufacturing engineer supervisor. So if you're not the actual engineer, you could also be a supervisor. You know how to the tool works, know how to build all the tools put together for the same tolerances that I have spoken in the past. Technical publications of the production. So working with all the programs, they're especially it's the same as production planner, but when working out in the field, you have to work to the tech. You know the especially like in the military and everything, you have to be able to give the airman or the military individual or the the instructions on how to work on the aircraft to do maintenance. Which takes me to the next one: technical publications of maintenance and operation. It is a different mindset with manufacturing to production. I mean to maintenance and operation. There's a you have to know how to keep things going rather than build them, which is two mindsets. Building a car. No one's going to build a car. People are going to be maintaining the car. So it's because when you build a car, you're putting things together. But when or an airplane, or but when you're keeping it up, doing maintenance and operations, you have to know how to use it, know how to change the oil, know how to look at the parts, look at the tires that need to be changed. All that is just a different with a new skill set required. Maintenance and operation engineer, same. So the people who do the technical publications, if the people doing the maintenance require a certain assistance, kind of like if there's a defect or something, they have to be able to know how to be the maintenance and operation engineer to give them the new work instructions. And for that, as long as it's, you go from aircraft to vehicle to automotive industry, and that's the last one, the other career fields that manufacturing engineer could qualify for. Here are my resources I used. Thank you.